Merry Scobuff Sports.
And Merry Scobuff Sports to you.
It's our final show of the semester, so I gotta ask you, what did Adam say on the day before Christmas?
What?
It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, Hannah, you slay me. We've got a great show jam-packed with sports, so stick around.
We begin today with volleyball. The team is currently playing in round 2 of the NCAA tournament in Bloomington, Indiana. Before we look at today, let's look at how they got here. The Buffs fell to Cincinnati in 3 straight sets as the team struggled to stop the Bearcats' attack. Sydney Jordan and Maria Splaska led the way with 8 kills each. After Thanksgiving, Sarah Morton and Raya Finley were honored for senior day against number 24 BYU. Morton had 8 digs while Finley recorded 31 assists as the Buffs fell 3 sets to 1.
With those back-to-back losses, Colorado finished 22-8 overall and 12-6 in Big 12 play this season. While most of the roster looked the same from last year, the Buffs took a big step forward from their 13-win 2024 campaign. Colorado was projected to finish in the bottom half of the conference, but powered all the way back to 4th place. Their strong junior class of Kayla Payne, Sydney Jordan, Lily Dwinnell stood out, led by Barilovich, who finished 6th in the nation in total points.
The Colorado Buffaloes made the NCAA tournament and met their first opponent in round 1 against American. CU dominated in kills with a total of 44 and hit over .341. Sydney Jordan excelled in hitting with a total of 14 kills. Buffs look forward towards round 2 in Bloomington, Indiana, facing Indiana University.
The Colorado Buffaloes face off against Indiana University right now in Bloomington, Indiana for round 2. To gain over Indiana, the Buffs need to start hot offensively with hitters like Jordan and Barilovich gaining momentum. If the Buffs can defend Indiana's outside hitter, Candela Alonso Corcelis, then the Buffs can compete well with the Hoosiers.
Colorado football signed only 10 players to their 2026 recruiting class on early signing day Wednesday. Like last year, CU went heavy on the offensive line with 3-star prospects, Xavier Payne, Ben Gula, and Josiah Manu, all committing to the Buffs. Colorado also made a late swoop in for cornerback Braylon Edwards. He was previously committed to SMU. Despite this positive flip, the Buffs currently rank last in the Big 12 in recruiting ranks, according to 24/7 Sports.
Deion Sanders has found his play caller after an abysmal season offensively. The Buffs hired Sacramento State head coach Brendan Marion to lead the offense.
On a cold January night here in Boulder, Colorado, we welcome you to the campus of the University of Colorado Boulder. And shortly up the street from Champions Plaza, we come to you from inside the CU Rec Center Ice Rink, home of Colorado men's and women's hockey. And man, it feels good to get back into this rink after a pretty long winter break, though it did not feel long enough for sure. Welcome back to Scobuff Sports, everybody. Kieran Walker alongside Harrison Simeon coming to you from the Rec Center. Tonight, CU D2 hockey is taking on the Roadrunners of Metropolitan State University of Denver. Harrison, how are we doing this evening, man? It's good to be back.
I'm doing pretty great, Kieran. I had a long break, restful break, recuperative break, and I'm sure CU D2 hockey had the same. And back in their comfy Rec Center, a little cold, colder than usual, I must say. Colder outside after it was a little bit temperate in Boulder over break, but it's chilly both in and out, and they'll take on Metro State after they already played this season, so their second matchup. CU took a 7-3 win out in Westminster last time, and now back in Boulder.
Yeah, it's a huge season for Colorado this season, as they've sat at the top of the BMHC last year, and they have done it again this season. 12-4 overall as compared to Metro State's 3-17-2-1 overall record. So they sit at the bottom of the conference this year. We've been trying to compete this season. Coming into Boulder for the first time this season, we'll see what they can do against their in-state rival.
Yeah, it should be a fun game, in Boulder, but, CU coming off a little bit of a break and hoping that some fatigue doesn't catch up to them. Metro State, coming into the semester after a rough year, but only way to go is up. So they'll definitely try to, mess things up here. Colorado coming off a really good fall season, trying to make it even better in the winter.
Absolutely. I mean, Colorado, they've been great for years and years on end, and they're looking to continue that streak here tonight. But this break that both these teams saw, hopefully they can come out of the gates hot and ready to go on this ice in this very, very chilly rink indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think for CU the key is to come out strong, come out the gates, act like there was nothing, not miss a beat, play fast and put shots on the net. And I think for Metro State, it's the same key. Both teams are going to be looking to do the same thing, come out of the gates strong and at least come out with a solid effort. Whether you win or you lose, you get a result you can be proud of to set the tone for the winter season.
Colorado, really a second period team we've seen this season. They've been able to tear teams down after about 20 minutes of play. Going into that 40-minute mark, they come out of the gates hopping and put up a lead so great that most of these teams haven't been able to contend, but MSU is going to try to hold them here tonight. And we'll see. It all comes down to goaltending and defense against this Buffaloes team, who is an offensive powerhouse and have been for the past several years.
Yeah, I think defense is especially important, though. I think both when you're talking about coming out of the gates hot, it's not just putting shots in the back of the net. It's coming out strong on defense. It's not getting lackadaisical, letting teams get behind their net. It's not getting sloppy and committing penalties, getting shorthanded, letting the other team get in the power play. It's keeping 5 on the ice and keeping a strong 5 on the ice.
That's what Colorado's been able to do all season. We'll see what MSU can pull off here in Boulder. Coming off of this winter break here at CU Rec Center Ice Rink, we will see you all shortly.
And myself with Buff Banner.
The first domino has fallen. Colorado has their next offensive coordinator. Brennan Marion, who was the coach of Sacramento State last season, previously an offensive coordinator with UNLV, was hired by Coach Deion Sanders just yesterday. This is Folsom Feud alongside Shane Holcomb. I'm Harrison Simeon. And Shane, what was your first reaction to that hire?
Well, this is an exciting hire, and Buffaloes fans out there should be excited about this because this is a guy that brings a very fast-paced offense. The first thing that I will point out today, Harrison, is I think so many times last season, or this past season I guess I just finished, Colorado just could not sustain drives, and we're going to get into his offense a little bit later, but it starts with moving the chains, right? And this is a guy who's done that a lot at his past stops.
Yeah, he had the second leading rushing offense in all of FCS, an offense that averaged 33 points per game, had one of the best yards per catch receivers in FCS. Sacramento State was electric, and it was under the go-go system, which is very interesting, very unique. Essentially everything Pat Shurmur wasn't. He was very conservative, by the books, pro style, but now Marion, very creative, innovative, and young at just 38 years old. We've talked about how Colorado will go into the future after Deion Sanders. This is a guy that could potentially be that guy to carry all Colorado's offense into the future. He has an identity. It can help in recruiting, and I think it'll be huge in terms of helping out Deion Sanders with this new look offense that has some talent there but needs a lot around it.
That's right, Harrison. You mentioned earlier, like last year, this team brought in a lot of, somewhat talented.
The first domino has fallen, but now Marion, very creative, innovative, and young at just 38 years old. We've talked about how Colorado will go into the future after Deion Sanders. This is a guy that could potentially be that guy to carry all Colorado's offense into the future. He has an identity. It can help in recruiting, and I think it'll be huge in terms of helping out Deion Sanders with this new look offense that has some talent there but needs a lot around it.
That's right, Harrison. You mentioned earlier, like last year, this team brought in a lot of, somewhat talented recruits in the offensive side. Joseph Williams is one I can think of, but it was kind of like a pluck and pull. It wasn't really, aligned with Pat Shurmur's scheme. I think we most saw that most prominently with Caden Salter's lack of success in the passing game. Hopefully they can be a little bit more aligned in bringing in his scheme to the players they're bringing in via the portal.
Yeah, and it's a very unique. It has sets where there's two running backs on the same side of a quarterback. It'll be an adjustment for Julian Lewis, who's still very young, who's going to have a second OC in his second year, and third OC.
Technically.
Well, third offense, third OC, even through a year and a couple months with the Buffaloes. So it'll be very interesting to see how he adjusts, but I think this is going to be great for guys like Micah Welch, for Dallin Hayden, running backs that are extremely talented, but haven't really had a chance to do more than just inside zone, maybe stuff here and there with pulling and pinning offensive linemen. but this is an extremely creative offense, one that can be extremely explosive in the Big 12.
Yeah, and a guy that I'm looking at too is what happens with Draylon Miller, right? We saw him a little bit in that backfield at the back end of this past season, and he's a guy that can be a very much of an explosive play threat. That's something also this offense really lacked last season, was the explosive plays, especially in that rushing attack. Michael Welch was their lead-in rusher, and he didn't have 400 yards the whole season. So you want to talk about number 2 in the FCS with their rushing offense at Sacramento State. Marion hopefully will emphasize the run here of CU, and he's got playmakers to do it with.
Yeah, there's Marion Miller, who you just mentioned, at 800 yards last season, is on a trajectory, on an elevator to the NFL, in my opinion. If he comes back one more year, he could have over 1,000 yards. You were just talking before, over 1,500 you mentioned. That's an ambitious number. But with an offense this explosive, it's very balanced. So we may not see a ton of maybe all-around superstar numbers, but I think Julian Lewis can adjust to it, can air it out, but also make decisions on the fly and eventually install an extremely good offense for Colorado.
Yeah, well, it's all, rainbows and sunshine until we actually see this offense on the field, though. So I'll be interested to see. Obviously, there's a lot of time left. A lot of players that could come in before the opener at Georgia Tech next September, Harrison. But my only question is right here is this is the 3rd play caller, right? And Deion Sanders, I guess 4th. And this is going to be his 4th year here. I'm a little concerned there's not that much stability here, but it's an exciting hire nonetheless.
Yeah, he has an impressive resume. It'll take some time to install, but I think this is about as good as Colorado could have done in terms of hiring their next offensive coordinator. This has been Folsom Feud alongside Shane Holcomb. I'm Harrison Simeon. Back to you guys at the desk.
Welcome back to Buff Banner. My name is Leo Rivera IV alongside Professor Shapiro. And today's topic of the day, Deion Sanders. Should he be on the hot seat at the start of the next season? I know you're feeling pretty fiery about this one.
Yeah, Deion is one of the highest paid coaches in America, Leo, and the results simply haven't been there. So just looking at money versus results, I think it's time for Deion Sanders to provide Colorado as a constant contender within the Big 12 and across the country. Last year was obviously a fantastic year, winning the Heisman and such, but is that because of his son and Travis Hunter, or is it because he is a good coach? And we don't know the answer.
I think there definitely needs to be more time to figure that one out, and that is the question that everyone is asking Jake Shapiro. Give him another season. I don't think he should be coming into this on the hot seat. No need to talk about firing him. Giving him one more year to figure out who's going to come in. Julian Lewis took that red shirt. He's your quarterback for the future. You just brought in a new OC. Let him feel it out. No hot seat for him.
Yeah, I think reality of the situation is when you're hiring a new athletic director, as the University of Colorado will be doing sometime in the next few months, that athletic director most likely is going to want his guy. And Deion Sanders is the furthest from your guy you could possibly have, right? He's his own entity. Literally, the athletic director right now, Rick George, is wearing Deion Sanders merch. So with a new athletic director in town, paying one of the highest paid coaches in America to be his football coach, whether you like it or not, in my opinion, he's probably going to be on the hot seat at the start of next year.
Well, that's fair, but I think only time's going to tell that. I think a little bit of that pressure is going to be taken off because how much is the university going to trust a new athletic director to come in and immediately start firing their coach that they have spent so much money on, that they spent the last 3 years entrusting with the face of their entire university? That's brought in not only the money-wise, but the enrollment of your students as well has increased, and those off the football field values as well.
The diversity and the inclusion that has been brought into these universities no doubt been fantastic, and the money that has been brought into the community is no doubt just a total win. The question is this university serious about being a football program, or as Todd Solomon has said, one of the higher-ups with this university, is it interested in just being a front porch to the rest of what this great university has to offer? That's my question with what this athletic director does, with what they do at football coach, is are they interested in being as great at football as they were in the 90s, or is it just this kind of side thing to get people in here?
Well, I think 9-4 says they want to win. I think there's that desire. Obviously, you look at this 3-9 season and you're left with a lot of question marks. All I can say is you have Julian Lewis. You have the most important piece of your offense moving forward. I think that should be enough to keep some optimism.
The recruiting should be there. That's why Deion Sanders was brought here. The recruiting hasn't been there, and that's one of the things that really scares me moving forward is we are now multiple years into Deion Sanders, and the recruiting has still been a bugaboo. The staff seems to be improving with the new offensive coordinator hire, but I still have some serious questions about Deion Sanders, the coach, because we both know the timeout and in-game management stuff hasn't improved, and man, you got to make improvements. Whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a coach, you got to make improvements year over year.
Well, there's no doubt that the time management needs to be improved. That is one thing we can both agree on, but that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, Professor Shapiro, for making an appearance, and back to you guys at the desk.
Women's hoops went 2-1 in the North Shore Showcase over break, but returned from Hawaii with some jet lag. Montana State stunned Colorado on Sunday 71-70, winning on a last-second layup. It was their second straight loss. Colorado led by 9 at the half on red-hot shooting, but went cold in the fourth, giving up a 15-0 run. After losing to the Bobcats, the Buffaloes defeated the Charleston Cougars 66-47 on a quick turnaround on Tuesday. Kennedy Sanders and Anna El Dutat powered the herd with 14 points each, while Dutat added 7 boards and a block. The Buffs stretched the lead to 15 in the third and never looked back, showing the cohesion they lacked on Sunday.
J.R. Payne's crew will try to stay in the win column on Sunday at home against the Wyoming Cowgirls. In last season's opener, the Buffs went to Laramie and eked out a 52-47 victory. Wyoming has struggled on the road this season, going 0-3 entering Boulder. Coach Payne's squad must limit turnovers. Their rocky start to the season is amid an average of 16 turnovers. Tip-off is set for 1 from the CU Event Center on ESPN+.
After Wyoming women's hoops finishes out non-conference play and starts their Big 12 schedule, CU finishes its non-conference schedule with Miami of Ohio and the Northern Colorado Bears. They hit the road to face Arizona State for their first Big 12 game. On New Year's Eve, they face the Arizona Wildcats for the first game of a pair of home games. In the second game, they'll face Cincinnati.
Colorado basketball is 8-0 for the first time in 76 years. Since our last show before Thanksgiving, the Buffs won the Orchestra Holiday Classic in California, beating San Francisco and Washington both by double digits along the way. A few highlights from those wins included a 17-point outing by freshman guard Isaiah Johnson against San Francisco and a bang-got-dack double-double performance versus Washington in the tournament title game. After returning home to Boulder, the Buffs held off a feisty Cal Baptist team on Monday thanks to a strong second-half surge, outscoring the Lancers by 10.
The undefeated men's basketball team is headed to Fort Collins on Saturday for the Rocky Mountain tip-off. It's a battle with the Colorado State Rams, who has 2 losses this season. Those came in back-to-back games against Denver and Virginia Tech. The Buffs' start through 8 games is the best in 76 years. Tip-off is set for 3 p.m. Mountain Time at Moby Arena.
After the Rocky Mountain Showdown, Buffs basketball has a busy break with 6 games. They'll host the UTSA Roadrunners on December 13th and the CU Event Center. Then Portland State comes to town on December 17th. The Buffs will then travel to Phoenix to play Stanford in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame Series on December 20th. CU returns from Christmas to play the UNC Bears at home on December 28th. Then they'll begin conference play in Tempe on January 3rd.
With the men's Hoopers on a historic start, we have to give you a trivia question on it. When was the last time CU began the year with 8 or more wins in a row against 8 different teams? We'll have that answer for you later in the show.
Welcome back to the CU Rec Center Ice Rink here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, where the MSU Roadrunners have come to Boulder to take on the men's D2 Colorado Buffaloes. Thank you all once again for tuning in to ScoBuff Sports. Kieran Walker alongside Harrison Simeon. And Harrison, it is a pretty big night here for Colorado, welcoming the MSU Roadrunners to their home rink for the first time this season. Their second meeting of the season, first at the Promenade down in Broomfield. Now coming back home, and they've got a pretty decent home crowd. People are starting to come in slowly but surely, but they're looking to make another statement here at home after a long break.
Yeah, first, Karen, it's great to be here. Great to come back after that long winter break, as you said, and both these teams coming back from break on their own. It's going to be first versus last today. MSU coming in after a rough fall season, 13-7-2-1, or 3-17-2-1, pardon me, and Colorado coming off a lead record over the BMHC, and they are looking to start off the winter season strong right here in Boulder.
Absolutely. Both teams waiting by their respective locker rooms, taking to the ice, and here come the Roadrunners on the west side of the rink.
Yeah, Colorado taking the win at the Promenade 7-3, a pretty high-scoring affair. Colorado looking to possibly do the same, though maybe batter down the hatches a little bit more defensively. Both teams looking to start strong, keep those skates hot. And like I said a little bit earlier, this is a set-the-tone type of game for the semester. You come out, lay an egg, it's going to leave a little bit of a stench in that locker room as you get further into the spring. But for Colorado especially, to make this home crowd happy, to keep things rolling, picking up right where they left off after a strong fall campaign, 12-4, and looking to keep it rolling this semester.
Colorado, a very high-scoring team this season, and they're looking to continue that here tonight. And here come the introductions for the starting lineups. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting goaltenders tonight. Number 31, Caleb Allen for Colorado. He's had an electric season so far as he started the majority of these games for Colorado this season.
Yeah, Allen, a rock-solid presence. Buffs probably going with their best players tonight, even though it's, not exactly the even matchup. CU definitely looking to start the spring semester strong, get their best players in good shape heading forward into the semester.
Starting in net for MSU, number 40, Patrick Loeffler on that side of the rink. Both benches have roared to life here at the CU Rec Center. David Lefkis out at center ice for the faceoff, and the Buffs come away with it. So we are underway here in Boulder. Draw one by Colorado, taken immediately by MSU at the other side. Handled by Frick. Out at the half wall, puck is loose. And played back into the corner, picked up by Lefkis. Back to the corner, still loose at the half wall. 5-4 along the boards, comes back out to the top. And Will Hadrick couldn't get his stick on that, and it goes out of the zone. Now MSU in control. Coming the other way, taken by Lefkis. Another turnover coming and a bit of a trip. That's number 21, and first penalty of the game will come as a trip against David Lefkis.
Yeah, and just before the game I was mentioning how Colorado needed to focus on keeping clean, not coming out sloppy after the break. That's not what you want to see in the first 45 seconds. Your best player going to the bench, the third leading point scorer in the BMHC. So quickly, Colorado will have to play on the defensive.
Lefkis with 22 points on the season, 8 goals, 14 assists. He's in the box for tripping. And the first power play comes for the Roadrunners. And behind the net, Zane Polacek looking for his stick, handled by Gage Perry, the defenseman. Back onto the top, kept in by MSU, keeping that pressure.
Nice crowd starting to pick up here.
That one-timer through traffic. Another shot on net, saved by Caleb Allen, deflected into the corner. That puck loose, handled and cleared out of the zone by Zane Polacek.
Yeah, nice crowd starting to fill in. Probably some more coming from the basketball game, because if you're just joining us, CU men's hoops just pushed number 14 Texas Tech to the brink, 73-71 the final, as you see at the bottom of your screen. So I imagine we'll have some people that come straight from there to the rec center.
Absolutely. Crowd starting to get a little bigger here in the rink as MSU tries to respond on the power play in the final 55 seconds. Puck still loose, cleared out again by Colorado.
I see you doing a good job early in this power play. Just allowing one semi-clean shot.
Coming the other way, MSU. Corey DePonio trying to get his stick on it. He does and clears it out. Nearly gloved down. 30 seconds left on this opening power play for the Roadrunners. Up draws number 4. Colorado back in the neutral zone. Alexandrov racing for that puck. Couldn't get his stick on it. 15 seconds to go. Final line change of the power play for MSU.
Yes, CU did a good job in that power play. We'll have to just contain this last run.
Despite their leading point scorer going to the box, they escape unharmed. Sioux takes a bit of a hit. Alexandrov up the left side, closing in, cross ice. Oh my goodness, what an attempt by Zane Polacek, excuse me.
Yeah, they came out roaring when they got even personnel, and barely, just a little bit of a misfire or more of a whiff after the cross ice pass. Looked good. First big chance of Colorado goes by the wayside.
And Caleb Allen with another save. That stops the clock. Just over 3 minutes gone by in period number 1. Bus captain Isaac Neff's in for the draw. Isaac Neff's the captains this season. 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points on the season. Colorado wins that draw, but MSU takes control. And now coming the other way is Ethan Rose. That's along the bar just for Perry. And it's picked up on the other side by Josh Jenin. Isaac Neff racing for the puck, but it'll be handled by Lofer.
No, it was not.
Out in front, takes a shot, smothered by Patrick Lofer. Swallowed up right into that stomach. Great shot attempt by Colorado.
Yeah, Neffs took that right away from the keeper behind net. Huge chance, though MSU kind of brought their defense right back in front. Were able to work on a dime and keep it away.
Connor Smithberger out on the ice with Neffs. Neffs at the half wall, taken by Smithberger. And at the top of Sterling. Did he keep it in? Offside wasn't the call, but out coming the other way is MSU. Ralstad looking for the puck, now before it's handled by Allen and sent across to Josh Jenin. Smithberger left it back. Stolino at the wall, sent it along the boards, handled by Loeffler. MSU coming the other way. They'll send it back into the zone. Stolino along the boards. Alex Book looking for the puck. Controlled again by MSU. Ralstad sent back into the corner. 15 and a half to go in the first period of play. Wrapping around, taken by Book. Alex Bauk looking for the puck in the corner. And he'll handle it. Sent across Chris Valco, cross ice. Wrapped around the boards again for Bauk. Bauk up the left side. Valco looking for the puck. Glove down. And taken by MSU.
MSU playing with good pace through these first 5 minutes. Got to sharpen up their passing a little bit. But overall, good first 5 minutes. Got to get a few more shots on net, especially with so much time in the attacking zone.
Switching to defense here as the puck is in the corner. And about that shot wide left from the point. Valco nearly intercepted, but taken again by Will Hadrick. Hadrick takes a hit in the corner, as does Rzauskas, who goes to the bench. That's sent back around. Ben Clark out on the ice. Here's Valco. Back out to Clark up the left side. Can't connect. Levkis from the corner. Intended for DePonio. Now into the corner again. It's Zane Polacek. Polacek behind the net for DePonio. Here's Polacek in the corner. Here's DePonio behind the net and handled again by number 20 for Metro State. DePonio looking for the wraparound, sends it out to Clark. Clark cross ice to Perry. Perry wraps around along the boards. Lots of offensive zone time for Colorado, and MSU is going to get their chance here.
Yeah, just a little bit too hot for Perry, and that kind of muddied up the possession. MSU doing a solid job of deterrence while not keeping possession for a majority of this game.
Now going the other way is Evan Stelino, the defenseman from Centennial, Colorado. There's Stelino. Out to Fisher. Stelino again. Bounced off the left side. And now coming the other way is number 71 for Metro State. Now sent back, Colorado with a chance to respond. Another turnover. Third pass. There's a shot goes wide to the right of Caleb Allen. And a check in the corner by Levkis. Once again, diving for it was David Levkis. Puck is still loose. Cleared out of the cage of Caleb Allen before he swallows up that shot from the point.
Woo! David Levkis playing Superman right there. Best chance of the day for Metro State. They've had a good couple of minutes, playing well to our near side. But Levkis just putting his body on the line, risking a penalty, making a good play.
Yeah, your leader in points. Expect him to step up, and he has this evening. Smithberger with a high pass. Goes into the corner, Metro State coming the other way. Nearly another turnover, and it is Smithberger cross ice to Valco. Valco can't maintain control, and it goes to the Roadrunners. Now it's played by Caleb Allen behind the net and picked up by Hadrick. Hadrick with a hit. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Handled by Nate Frick for MSU. Valco chasing down the puck behind his goaltender. Left it back for Hadrick. Hadrick sent along the boards into the corner and picked up at the half wall by Smithberger. Cross ice intended for Josh Jenin. Can't connect.
I see you having a little bit of trouble right now, just generating a good shot, some good offense, stringing stuff together.
Last 10 games, Colorado is 7-2-1 compared to the 3-7-0 record for the Roadrunners. They are on fire, as we've been saying all season, at the top of the BMHC.
Well, they've got to hope this break doesn't really cool them off. A great offensive force, though Metro State giving them a little trouble on the defensive end.
And Colorado only 2 shots on net tonight. That'll be a third, and a beautiful save by Loeffler. Our first trivia question here tonight: which of CU's 3 hockey teams has the most points as of today? We have A, men's D1, B, men's D2, or C, women's D1. We'll have the answer for that later tonight.
I did want to shout out Nick for this amazing new graphics package. I didn't realize we'd have trivia tonight. I got to think about that answer.
Yeah, Nick was saying he was very, quote, very, very bored over break. And so he got to work putting together this incredible scorebug and graphics package.
Well, you can quote this. It is beautiful.
Harrison Simeon, 2026. Zane Polachek with the puck. Sent across to Corey DePonio. Now David Levkis. Levkis out to Clark. Clark closing in on the net. Takes a shot from out in front. It looks like a penalty will be assessed.
Yeah, it was a good touch by Levkis to get Clark that puck. Tough decision he had to make as he kind of skirted by. But he was able to draw the penalty at the very least. And now CU on the power play for the first time tonight.
MSU's number 11 heading to the box for hooking. 10.5 to go in period number 1, and a 2-minute power play coming for the Buffs. Hadrick cross ice, handled by Alexandrov. Alexandrov back to Hadrick at the point. Shot from deep, deflected. And a great opportunity for Rick Fisher, as Loeffler was wide open. Takes a shot deflected by traffic, and that goes high over the net. Top again for Hadrick. Hadrick got to Alexandrov. Alexandrov pass intended for Neffs, can't connect.
Neffs had a wide open goal.
Alexandrov pass intended for Fisher. To get it's Jenin in the corner. Alexandrov back to Fisher. Fisher takes a shot, saved by Loeffler. Alexandrov at the left side. Fisher at the point. Fisher looking for help, sent across. Now Alexandrov. Line's been on the ice for well over a minute. Diving for it, but can't connect, was Will Hadrick. Hadrick back in the corner. Back to Neffs, who loses his footing at the half wall. Now Hadrick. Back out to Alexandrov. Shot from the point. Puck is loose, and the rebound attempt by Neffs. Couldn't get there in time. Fisher takes a shot wide left. 9 minutes to go in period number 1. 30 seconds on the power play. Back out to Hadrick and Neffs. Hadrick again. Hadrick from the corner now up the left side is Alexandrov. Another penalty will be coming. This time it looks like it will go against Colorado, as Bryce Margolis goes down for MSU. Oof. So brief 4-on-4 coming.
Yeah, a little extracurricular activity from Fisher. Knocked the stick away. And he gets 4 minutes. Looked like after the whistle, might have had some sort of trip. I wasn't looking at the exact moment. But an MSU player fell and was holding their knee. Not sure why you're trying to do that with such little time in the power play. It's the first period. You're not, in a desperate situation.
Yeah,
Not sure why you'd think you get away with that. Brings it back to even, and now they're going to be shorthanded for over 3.5 minutes.
So 4-minute double minor assessed against Brick Fisher. Talk about a great power play for the Buffs, despite not putting any points on the board.
Yeah, I was going to say, they had some really good rips, but weirdly, that little section of the ice by MSU's bench seems to be very slippery. We've had a third player now fall over themselves in that area.
Yeah, we have a couple new Zambonis here at the CU Rec Center. That could be part of the reason why the ice has been a little unpredictable recently.
Yeah, I was going to say that Zamboni needs to focus a little extra on that spot by that half wall. But CU doing a good job, and now another slip. Yeah, they need to go double duty today.
Absolutely. There's a shot deflected by Caleb Allen, and it hits the netting.
Yeah, Allen's best save. Had to flex the pad a little bit. CU in an interesting spot early on. Hasn't been the best period in the world, but they've looked solid. 7 goals in their first game against MSU, but nearing 7 minutes in this first period. They've had their chances, haven't made do.
Well, MSU is going to try to put the first points on the board. 2:45 to go on this double minor. I said down to Levkis. Looks like it went off his skate. And handled again by MSU. Jackson Brandhorst from that corner. That's sent back out from Nate Frick. There's a shot from deep, deflected. Diving stop by Eli Powers, who goes to the bench.
Yeah, good shift from Powers. Him and Lefkis have done a good job keeping MSU near the blue line on these power plays. Just constantly having to rethink their strategy.
It looked like Lefkis was getting a little aggressive as he was on his way to that bench. Unless he's off the ice. Chrysoskis laying the puck behind the net. He'll handle it, trying to get some pressure shorthanded. He's triple teamed. Now Isaac Neffs lost the puck. Taken by Zach Jensen. Excuse me, Cale Hall, the defenseman.
Yeah, a lot of communication from the MSU bench right now. A little frustration building in this power play. Really trying to get a good shot.
There's a shot from deep, deflected by Allen, and hits the netting.
CU's over halfway through it.
The answer
6
to our
minutes.
trivia question, as a reminder, we asked which of CU's 3 hockey teams have the most points as of today. The answer is men's D2 with a whopping 37 points on the season, leading the BMHC once again.
Yeah, I might have hinted at that answer a little bit when talking about how good this team has been in the past several months, and that was probably going to be my answer. I know women's has had a great season as well.
Yeah, men's D2, they've been having several great seasons the past several years. There's a shot, glove down by Caleb Allen. And some extracurriculars in front of Allen before it's broken up.
Yeah, I'm sure MSU's still thinking a little bit about that Fisher sequence that earned him 4 minutes in the box. So we'll see how the chippiness picks up as the night goes on. Teams really battling for a goal.
Still no points on the board, 50 seconds to go on the power play, and another great save by Allen. 5.5 to play in period number 1. Play resumes. Final chance for MSU to take the lead. Puck loose in the corner. Perry in the midst trying to maintain control. And coming away with it is Jensen. That's Polacek behind the net now. Perry in the corner. Still can't find the puck. And the Roadrunners come away with it, not before Perry gets his stick on it, and Alexandrov clears the zone. Smithberger with the pressure.
CU has been phenomenal shorthanded, almost better than they have been when at even keel.
They know what's at stake here, and they're willing to defend their home ice. That shot out in front, saved by Allen. Looked like MSU trying to set up a pretty brilliant play, just couldn't get there.
And I think what helps is like Allen is so casual and so smooth in net. I think that's what makes him pretty good, is he makes things look effortless.
That is another thing. That's why he started as many games as he has this season.
And when you have a goalkeeper like that, you can play a lot more aggressive when you're in these defensive scenarios. You have to, sometimes you do have to ramp up the pressure if your goaltender is maybe a lesser keeper. But with Allen, you can play aggressive. You can take those risks that maybe you wouldn't in different scenarios.
Thank you all for tuning in to ScoMo Sports this evening. Kieran Walker, Harrison Simeon, Jackie Rivera, our camera operator, Nick Evans, our producer. It's great to have you here on our first game back from winter break here on SBS. Buffs at full strength inside 4 minutes to go. Hadrick takes a hit in front of the MSU bench. Puck is handled by Alexandrov. Takes a shot into traffic. Here's Valco up the left side, looking for help. But it's blocked by Ethan Rose. Puck loose in the corner. Centering past Alexandrov. He takes a shot. What a chance for Colorado, but a beautiful save by Loeffler. Smithberger centering past Alexandrov. Another shot. It just went wide of the net. Man, that was a dangerous situation. Aiden Johnson in front of that net. Another shot from deep goes wide to the left. Puck still loose in the corner, taken by MSU as they try and clear. Alexandrov, excellent stick handling, keeps it in. Buffs in the midst of a line change, so MSU clears.
Yeah, what a shift for Alexandrov. He got to a centering pass that I had no idea anyone could really get to. Able to stop it, put a shot on. So you can see the intensity start to pick up for CU right now. They're trying to get this opener.
Alex Bauk up the left side. He's got speed. Another diving save, or glove save rather, by Loeffler. Rebound attempt came from Krasauskas. He couldn't connect. 2.5 to go in period number 1. Puck loose in front. Centering pass from, Delino. Can't connect. There have been so many great opportunities for the Buffs to score. They just can't connect.
Yeah, it's been a little bit frustrating that none of these opportunities have paid off. They've really kept their skates hot.
Now to the corner, Marius Krasauskas again. Now zone is cleared. Coming the other way are the Roadrunners, number 20. Levkis breaks up the play. And now Levkis responding. 1:40 to go. Levkis looking. Still has the puck. No, comes back out at the top. Shot from deep, deflected. Clark looking for Levkis. Clark again from the corner. Sent out to Polacek at the point. Shot from deep. Goes wide left. Now Clark. Clark with a shot deflected into the rafters.
That went straight up.
That was I don't think I've ever
defender.
seen a deflection quite like that.
Yeah, his stick came clean off. So you had a nice chance there, kind of faked out the MSU defense.
Levkis out to Polacek. Cross ice. Shot from deep, kept out by Loeffler. We're approaching the final minute of the period. Down goes David Levkis. I think he might have grabbed his opponent's face mask. Puck loose in the corner. Comes back out to the half wall, and MSU coming the other way. Brandhurst has wheels. Takes a shot save by Allen. Looks like it went off his mask. Another glove save by Caleb Allen once again. Like you say, Harrison, he just looks effortless on these saves.
Yeah, I just snagged it like it was nothing. Like he's a baseball player playing catch.
He might be.
He's had a great period so far. It's going to be interesting. He's kept CU pretty solid in this period, but the next step is that offense putting together something to be proud of. There have been moments.
Men's D1 hockey dropped their first game of the 2026 season 10-3 against the Vail Yeti. They head up there every season. That was a tough loss. They play again tonight, I believe, before they come back to Boulder next weekend. That was Vail's senior A team they were playing. They absolutely demolished the Colorado Buffaloes in that scrimmage. Now 7.8 to go, and Allen made another fantastic save.
Yeah, MSU had a 4-on-2 basically. CU getting a little lethargic towards the end of this period. But good job by the CU defense not letting MSU put together anything. Their spacing was a little bit off. And now we have a penalty, though.
Looks like Will Hadrick's going to head to the box. So the Roadrunners will start the second period with a power play. Oh, my, that shot deep. Gloved again by Caleb Allen, and some extracurriculars in front of his net. So they're still going on.
He caught it and immediately was pushing, I believe that was Tristan McLeod away of Metro State.
TJ McLeod this season, he's
no shortage of action this period.
Absolutely. I mean, 7 goals, 7 assists. He got 14 points on the season. That was Tristan McLeod. But the period will come to an end. So despite MSU's record this season, I mean, they've got players who are boasting some decent stats that can compete with Colorado.
Yeah, I'd say it was a frustrating period for Colorado. Not, what you want to come out as your first period of the semester with, but you still had moments where the intensity was quick. They had shots, they had opportunities. Now, can they make the most of them is yet to be seen, but I would say Allen's looking sharp. The passing has left some to be desired, though.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado, talk about that power play earlier this period. I mean, that was the best that I'd seen, probably a power play unit in this rink ever. I mean, despite not heading on the board, it was definitely a solid effort from Colorado despite there being no points.
Yeah, they were shorthanded for a good chunk of the period, but even then, they looked better than they kind of did at even ice. I think for Colorado, the focus now is to really put together sequences. I think sequencing is the big thing because they had areas where there's space that they're not quite taking advantage of that space and making that pass where they're afforded a very open pass, that final, commanding, decisive pass that puts one in the back of the net, but they can't quite make it yet.
That's going to be their biggest challenge here tonight, is just finding the back of Loeffler's net and just getting a shot past him. They've had so many great chances, and also I think just being able to capitalize on your plays that you could see they've been trying. Those centering passes, I mean, they're just either too hot to handle or just a missed timing.
Right, but I still think if this was considering the feeling out period that CU won in that aspect is they would have the advantage going into it if I had to guess who would score the first goal. But that makes it more interesting if Metro State finds a goal, finds a good strategy out into the next period going on the power play. If they can score first, CU's going to be very much on the ropes in terms of mentality of we need to find this pass right now, otherwise it might get out of hand.
That's the biggest challenge for the Colorado Buffaloes that they will need to conquer in period number 2, which is coming your way in just under 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere. You're watching ScoBuff Sports.
Despite a disappointing end to an historic season, CU soccer has various end-of-season honors to celebrate. Striker Hope Leba and goalkeeper Jordan Niders are the first Buffs in program history to earn first-team All-American honors. Leba broke the record for most goals in a single season with a Buff, scoring 22. The forward was also named Big 12 Striker of the Year and was constantly terrorizing backlines all season. During the year, Nidus broke the record for most shutouts in a career and also earned Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Year honors for the third time. Defender Faith Leba earned third-team All-American honors thanks to her amazing defensive play throughout the season.
Then in Manhattan, Coach Prime and the Buffaloes closed out their season in a snow-dusted showdown against the Kansas State Wildcats. The Buffs came out with a fight, reaching Wildcat territory on their first 5 drives. However, they only cashed in 1, including a blocked field goal and 2 turnovers on downs, which kept CU from taking control early. Caden Salter was his usual mix of up and downs in his final game as a Buff. The fifth-year player completed 56% of his passes and threw a head-scratching interception. K-State took control behind the sophomore back Joe Jackson, who gashed CU for 142 yards and all 3 Wildcat touchdowns. CU cut it to 17-14 late, but a final Jackson score sealed it.
The third installment of the Coach Prime era came to a disappointing finish after Colorado ended the season 3-9. This was the worst season in the Coach Prime era, and it finished off with 2 losses to Arizona State and Kansas State. Colorado's last home win in the season came before the first bye against Iowa State, and from that point on, it was all losses. Although the season was a disaster, the hiring of offensive coordinator Brendan Marion brings optimism for the future and hopefully some more recruits to come with it.
6 Buffs were named to the Big 12 honors. Amarian Miller's over 800 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns was good enough to make the Big 12 second team. Fellow sophomore offensive tackle Jordan Seaton was also named to the Big 12 second team. Freshman London Merritt was named to the Big 12 honorable mention, recording 25 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. The defensive back pairing of Tawfiq Byard and Preston Hodge got Big 12 honorable mention as well. Byard led the Big 12 in solo tackles with 58 stops. Hodge led the Big 12 in pass breakups with 13. Punter Damon Greaves led the Big 12 in punts with 62 this season, which was good enough for the Buffs' 4th honorable mention.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your Buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
Men's D1 hockey plays in the Rocky Mountain Face-Off this weekend in a 2-game series against CSU. Tonight's game is in Fort Collins at 7:15, and Saturday's game is at the Rec Ice Rink at noon. The Buffs took the first matchup of the season 3-2 in overtime on the road back in October. This series will give CU a chance to bounce back from their 2 losses against Missouri State on November 16th and 17th.
The women's D1 hockey team played their last series of the semester on November 14th and 15th in a series against GCU. The Buffs split the series, losing the first game 3-2, but taking the second 3-2. A little over halfway into the season, the Buffs have an 8-5-1 record, good for the 3rd in the WCHL and tied for the 17th in the ACHA. Junior forward Mia Fischelli leads the team in points with 19 goals with 14. Fischelli and the Buffs will return to the Rec Center in a 2-game series against the Lake Region State College on January 10th and 11th.
History is on the line this weekend for CU women's rugby. The Buffs are heading to Houston for the first ever Women's Division I AA national title game. They'll face Northeastern on Saturday. This Buffs team has shown speed, power, and balance all season, and now they're 1 win away from making program history. The championship kicks off December 7th at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll be watching to see if Colorado can finish the job and bring a national title back to Boulder.
Hey, Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 9 plays in Colorado sports. Tons to unpack this week, so let's dive right in with our number 9 pick. We go to women's hoops against the College of Charleston. Buffs have not scored, but Ziana Walker launches from deep, and she gets the 3 to open up scoring for the Buffs. What a play. For number 8, we go to men's hoops this time. Barrington Hargress going up the left side. He's got room, and he goes in for the slam with 2 hands against the University of Washington in the Acrisure Holiday Classic. What a play. Now for number 7, Anael Dutot going up for the spinorama, and she gets the layup on top of that Wayne Gretzky style, but this is basketball, not hockey. Number 6, this time we go to football against Kansas State. Caden Salter rolling out to his right. He's got room, finds some room, and gets the first down, and he's going to slide at the 50-yard line for a huge 24-yard gain. What a play by the senior in his last game as a Buff. For number 5, we go back to women's hoops, this time against Montana State. And Desiree Wooten draws the foul and gets the bucket. Her bench loves it. The game is tied at the end of the 4th quarter. That was a disappointing end if the Buffs lost by 1 point. But still, what a play. Number 4, this time we go back to that game against Washington. Ben got Dak going up the left side. He goes in for the slam with 2 hands. The Dak attack strikes again, doing what he does best. Number 3 now, it's still the Acrisure Holiday Classic. And this time it's San Francisco. Elijah Malone to Dak. Dak fakes the dunk, and he gets it back to Elijah Malone, who goes in for the slam. Game is tied at 37. Number 2, we go back to football against Kansas State. Micah Welch front flipping into the end zone, and that is a touchdown for the Buffs. What a play by Micah Welch, getting the Buffs on the board in Manhattan, Kansas. What a play. Number 1, we go to volleyball this time. Round number 1 of the NCAA tournament took place yesterday as they took on the American Eagles in Bloomington, Indiana. Play is up, and Sydney Jordan gets her 14th kill of the game. That is how you start off your play in the NCAA tournament. CU Buffs volleyball making us proud here in Boulder. That's going to do it for this week's Plays of the Week on SCO Buff Sports. I'm Kieran Walker, wishing you a happy holidays and SCO Buffs.
Thank you, Kieran. It's time for an early Christmas present. We are happy to present a special blooper reel. Enjoy the fall 2025 edition of SBS Funniest Moments.
The correct answer, Conrad. Conrad. What does that mean? I know. What does that mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't know who Conrad or Jeremiah are.
Isn't that Love Island?
What is that?
Right?
To be a thriller of a game at Rice Eccles Stadium.
Absolutely. The Buffaloes go 3-0 on the weekend. They take down the Rams tonight 6-1. Thank you to our producer Nick Evans for blowing out my eardrums. Right?
Those things happen behind the scenes. You tweak things.
Yeah.
At what point, though, after some of these losses, do you kind of lose trust in having the people in the right spots?
I might already change it, and you don't know.
State there didn't have the most impressive week 1 either, but Kenny Dillingham really impressed. He's going to do an amazing coaching job for the next decade at least at Arizona State. So I got the Sun Devils there.
Yeah, I'm taking the Sun Devils as well. I think Sam Levitt is going to
win. Dylan Edwards potentially coming back for this game. They could get that running offense on track. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Wildcats. But that leads us into our final game. We're going to talk about the Delaware Blue Hens coming to Boulder to take on the Colorado Buffaloes in Delaware's first ever FBS Football Live. It's been incredible having you. We will see you next week.
The one and only 24 karat gold Labubu. Now,
just read Lincoln Roach's full story on ScoBuffSports.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah Howell here with this week's Buff Banner, and I'm joined by Lincoln Roach and Harrison Simeon to discuss our current quarterback situation. So we'll get into the questions. Harrison, we'll start with you. Who do you think should start versus Iowa State?
Game. I would just throw Lewis in for the second half and
You know,
Right
give
now.
him the reps.
Yeah. Well, that quite frankly is blasphemous.
I think, look, I think there's a reason that the saying exists, there is no Harrison Simeon team. Because it seems like you're very narrow-minded in a one-person mindset here, but
is another guy that I have to mention for Colorado. He had 13 total rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, and it was his efficiency and his ability to keep offensive possessions for the Buffaloes and get the ball back out to the scorers that was.
Trust me when I say this, you want to like and subscribe to the SBS YouTube and TikTok, so that way you know when things are going live, like the SBS Football Live Show, which covers a lot of ground in college football. You don't want to miss it.
Tonight, girl, I'ma show you how much I love you. Let the party begin. I'ma do something I never did to you, girl. I'ma turn you out, I'll show you I knew you, girl. Tell your friends you ain't coming out tonight.
You gotta wait till the fire. You gotta wait till the fire. Ready? Not from the top, make it drop. That's a wet ass. Now get a boogie in her mouth. That's a wet ass. I'm talking drop. That's a wet ass. Now get a boogie in her mouth. That's a wet ass.
Hey Coach, Shane Holcomb, Scobo Sports. I just want to get your comments on, recently we've seen a theme across the college ball landscape where, teams are moving on from their coaches faster than ever.
Yeah,
do you think that, these schools and fan bases have lost the sense of patience in the process of building something?
There's no one patience in this world. Everything is expeditious in this country. Everyone wants the quick fix, the quick things. You got mail order brides too, right? You get married, right away. You could get a BBL. You could come in here flat as I don't know what, and leave thick as a Snicker. So this is a different country that we live in, man. Ain't nobody got no patience.
Welcome back to Boulder, ladies and gentlemen, for period number 2 of this game between the Colorado Buffaloes and the MSU Roadrunners. Still scoreless after 20 minutes of play. Both teams have had some incredible scoring opportunities, but namely the Buffs, and especially on that power play that we discussed earlier, Harrison. But, coming out of the gates here in period number 2, they've got to step up the game here.
Yeah, no, it was a fun period. But before we get into the game, I must say a bit of a patriotic intermission. We had the national anthem start playing right in the middle, and then Yankee Doodle Dandy.
That is just the... I don't know.
I'll just leave it at that.
You have to be here in the rig to.
You just had to be here, I guess. We had some Sko Bus photographers, Fidel and Kakoa, stand up loud and proud and sing us along.
Get the crowd going. Interesting intermission.
I know we're at a bit of a fragile moment in our country's history, but I must say, Fidel touched the heart with that rendition of the Star Spangled Banner.
I had tears in my eyes.
Yes. You just had to be here. That man was quite emotionally blaring the anthem. But anyway, back to hockey. CU starting on the defensive, shorthanded, but they played very well shorthanded in that first period. They're off to, I would say, a good start despite the scoreless line right now. But again, like I mentioned earlier, their closing passes is really all that separates them from the lead right now. They need to just sequence a little bit better, take advantage of the space they're afforded right now because they're getting plenty of opportunities at the blue line, but even on some of those easier passes, they're not quite making them. And that's really important when you're starting fresh for this semester, had a bit of a break. You beat this team 7-3. But now you're starting off in a little bit more of a defensive game. Is that how Metro State wants this game to go? I would say yes. Considering, the Metro State giving up a lot of goals, last place in the BMHC, they want to play where a goal matters, where all they need is one, and then they're putting CU in a really big predicament mentally because, Metro State not really expecting anything from going in from tonight. Nothing to lose on the road against the first place team.
CU already locked in, you can tell here tonight. Just got to clean up a few things on offense, particularly their passing, as you mentioned. There's a shot deflected by Caleb Allen. Right off the face-off. Now Perry behind the net, sent back out. Reminder, MSU still on the power play. That centering pass broken up by David Levkis. Now it's loose in the corner, half a minute gone by. Coming the other way is MSU. Buffs had a chance shorthanded.
Yeah, Levkis playing a really strong game so far. Him and Powers kind of in the front line. Levkis, the division's third leading scorer, and I'll get to you shortly, but look at this.
There's a shot deflected by Loeffler. What a setup. Now Corey DePonio coming the other way. That was Clark on that last shot. DePonio trying to get that puck in the corner. Clark comes away with it, but up for another turnover. Final 35 seconds of this power play for MSU. That centering pass can't connect.
Yeah, when they're shorthanded, CU has been flying around. And that's really the big difference right now is while they've been shorthanded for a lot of this game, they've had their fair share of penalties early on. They've really put in high effort in this period to not just defend and keep MSU out of the goal, but get some opportunities themselves.
5 minutes, or 5 seconds rather, in this power play. And Buffs are back at full strength. Artek will head to the bench, but a tripping call. Looks like.
I believe it was offsides.
It might have been offsides, but
Yeah.
Alexandrov did go down.
Well, Alexandrov was kind of blocked off from getting back across the blue line. Not a penalty, but kind of a inverse screen set that works in Metro State's favor.
Now taking Alexandrov with the draw, right back to MSU. Now they're offsides.
Yeah, just looked like
close.
just beat his own teammate to the blue line.
And Colorado trying to make a statement here at home. The first team, the BMHC, against the last place team in their division. Taken by Chris Valco. Sent across to Hartek, who's out of the box. Puck loose at the half wall. And sent back out Fisher. Looking the other way. Fisher looking for the puck, takes a shot, and diving for it was Loeffler again. Another shot off the rebound save, and cleared out. MSU coming the other way. Taking a shot out in front. Caleb Allen making it look easy. Now Fisher. He'll take the puck, retreating back into the neutral zone. Fisher up the center, lost his puck nearly, and takes a shot swallowed up by Loeffler.
Yeah, and going back to that save by Allen, it's such a great benefit to have when you have a goaltender that can just stay calm with a dude charging directly at you, making a beeline for the net, and then just casually sticking putting your stick out and deterring it away. He's had a great game.
Isaac Neffs in the circle, gets the draw. Levkis from the point, and it's stopped by Loeffler. Excuse me, that was Polacek, rather. The defenseman, Smithberger. Taken by Perry. Another turnover. Smithberger again lost the puck. How about this defensive pressure from the Roadrunners, preventing the Buffs from having any scoring chances.
Yeah, definitely got to give credit to him. Haven't made anything easy for CU in the attacking zone right now.
Neffs fighting for it at the half wall. Not before number 17 comes away with it. Now Perry. Gage Perry left it back, and another turnover. The turnovers have been a bit of an issue for Colorado this season, especially here tonight. When you're faced with a defense like this Roadrunners team, it's hard to do as that becomes an icing. It's hard to capitalize.
Yeah, tough opening few minutes for Colorado, I would say. There haven't been many clean shots. They've had, like we said, plenty of a time in the attacking zone and, with possession. Having to come out shorthanded was tough, and I think they did a good job of that. But once again, back when they're right back at 5-5, it's really been difficult to string much together. But once again, give credit to Metro State. They've had a very solid defensive game plan that they've executed, and any adjustments that CU has made so far haven't really shown.
That was another icing call this time against the Roadrunners, which will bring it back to their zone. Power plays this evening. Neither one of them have resulted in a goal. The 2 for MSU, the 1 for Colorado. That shot from deep into traffic. And around the puck, Aiden Johnson on the ice, handled by Alex Bauk. Nearly gloved down by Ralstad. And another icing against the Roadrunners, second one in a row.
Yeah, CU's had a lot of time at the point today. They've fired in a lot of shots for trying to find a deflection, but MSU stayed pretty disciplined in those scenarios and, not letting anything quite find the net. There haven't really been any shots where they've deflected and then Loeffler's had to make contort his body and have to make a save.
Bauk takes the draw. Now Loeffler out of his net. Ralstad racing forward at the half wall, and he'll pick it up in the corner. Ralstad looking for a wraparound, left out for MSU. And they'll come the other way. Going pressure up the left side. Big hit by Powers. Yeah, Eli Powers, like you said, Harrison, alongside David Levkis, they have been throwing themselves all over the ice. Anything they can to
I think
stop
that's
the
who you
play.
have to play through. They've been great on the defensive end. Now do you get them those looks when you're skating? Is that who you look for in the scenarios? It's been them two, and then Alexandrov's having a pretty phenomenal game as well. So do you get those three on the ice at the same time? Try to really put pressure on MSU at this point. That's the strategy you have to think about if you're Colorado. Because so far, they've had their shots, but not much has really worked consistently.
We're going to stoppage of play as Powers took a giant hit on the boards.
Looks like Powers also returned a little bird on that one. Some sort of gesture.
It's not
back
pleased.
at MSU. Hasn't been the friendliest affair so far. We had a 4-minute penalty. Fisher had to sit out for a while, Brick Fisher, for tripping another MSU player after the whistle.
MSU closing in. That shot save again by Caleb Allen. And here's some extracurriculars in front of the net. And down goes several MSU players. It's still going. Levkis in the mix. And it looks like Loeffler wanted a piece of that. Holy cow.
Oh, my Lord.
That was the most physicality we've seen tonight.
The most physicality I might have ever seen in just a few seconds. I mean, dust was flying. Ice was all over the place. Bodies were falling. But out of the carnage, we'll see what the referees decide. Good grief. Yeah, Allen took a little bit of exception. He had to pin that save near his post. And then looks like they'll send MSU and CU to the box, get a 4-on-4. At least what it appears.
So it's Ethan Rose and Chris Valco heading to the box. Captain's listening in on the discussion with the officials. So it's 4-on-4 with just over 14 to go in the second period.
Man, that was something. Referees having to talk to captains at center ice right now. Just settle this down. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a scrum of that fire, that intensity at the rec center in a long time. And I'm a senior, so I've seen a lot of hockey here. I've seen, some pushing, some shoving, but that was, as Xavier McNevitz would say, a slobber knocker.
Definitely have not seen a scrum that intense in D2. As long as I've been covering these games, that was something else. So 4-on-4 hockey. Both teams look like they're coming out of the gates on fire right now. 2 fresh lines on, but an offsides will be called against the Roadrunners.
Yeah, that's the second time that's happened where Metro State they have 2 going down the ice, and then the one that doesn't have the puck beats the one with the puck to the blue line, and some frustration there from the Roadrunners. Pretty much a stalemate, the stalemate of all stalemates right now. I mean, it's hard to tell really what team can get on the board first. You'd like to say it's CU, but if you are just talking advantage right now, I would say MSU has had the better period so far.
That shot deflected. It just went wide to the left. A little too much power, too much loft rather. Our Colorado looking to respond. Watch out, Gage Perry's got wheels going up the right side, skating up into center, takes a shot saved by Loeffler. And now Alexandrov chasing down the puck and responding the other way is Tristan McLeod for MSU. That shot went wide left of the net.
Yeah, going back to that shot from Perry, kind of sped himself up too much, put himself in a position where he only had to shoot.
Ralstad took a shot deflected off the leg of an MSU defender. Matthew Glift out there. The forward from Broomfield, Colorado. Clark chasing down the puck, looking for the wraparound. And Preston Tafoya there to stop it. Levkis wrapping around. 10 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Cleared out of the zone. MSU looking to respond. Up for number 71 was double teamed. Skaters fresh out of the box. Here comes Corey DePonio. Fresh set of skaters on for Colorado. Levkis running around along the boards. Looking for it is DePonio in the corner. Bucks still lose that shot off the pad of Loeffler. With a great attempt by Gage Perry. Big hit behind the net, courtesy of Corey DePonio. My goodness. Powers gave it the puck. Levkis in the corner. Powers fighting for it. That shot saved by Allen way from deep as MSU gets a fresh set, some fresh skaters on the ice rather.
Yeah, another solid run by CU there. Did a good job working the walls and getting a couple of nice opportunities. And now you just have to focus on dominating that center portion of the ice, because that's not where you score.
Another hit, down goes an MSU player. Now the other way, takes a shot deflected by Caleb Allen and it hits the netting.
Yeah, one of Allen's better saves.
Our second period trivia question is, who did Colorado men's D2 beat 11-3 in their final home game of 2025. A, Denver, B, Colorado State, or C, Wyoming? We'll have that answer shortly. Puck played in the corner. Ralstad looking for it. Fighting for that puck. Coming away with it is Evan Stelino, the defenseman from Centennial. Smithberger. Connor Smithberger looking for the puck.
Ooh, they missed one there.
Josh
Neff's got
Chinnan.
slashed pretty hard.
Yeah, Neff's the captain of this team. He's still on his feet. It takes another hit. That's Cooper Pedersen. Puck loose in the corner. Down goes Stelino. He is not pleased. He's in a bit of a scrum.
He doesn't even have a. He didn't have a stick.
Allen with another smother to stop play. The puck was loose out in front. Man, Ethan Rose on MSU. He's been trouble here for this Buffs team tonight in terms of extracurriculars.
Yeah, MSU's had a very strong opening 10 minutes of this period in terms of just pushing CU down the ice, getting them more on the backwards, as you would say. Definitely been having a better offensive period, making better adjustments than CU. CU's still been a little bit frustrated by MSU's defense. But Stelino was working without a stick for a little bit, just kind of boxing him out.
Well, it's proved effective. Still no score after over a half hour of play in this game. Alexandrov looking for the puck, kept in by MSU. Glove down by Allen.
Allen has been on point today.
As a reminder, folks, we asked who did Colorado men's D2 beat 11-3 in their final home game of 2025. And the answer is Wyoming. It's an absolute showdown despite Wyoming having one of the best goaltenders in the conference. It was an absolute blowout here in Boulder. Alexandrov he takes a huge hit along the left half wall. Hadrick racing for the puck and kept in by Chris Valco. Approaching the 9-minute mark here in period number 2. It's in by Sue. Man, Elijah Sue seeing some action tonight. Haven't really seen him yet. Will Hadrick lays it back out to DePonio. Alexandrov looking up ice. Another turnover handled by MSU as Colorado was in the midst of a change. MSU coming the other way, handled by Perry. Perry across to DePonio. DePonio up the right side, and he goes down. Ice is still a little slippery out there, Harrison.
Yeah, we talked about it before that first period.
That shot went wide to the right. Oh, David Levkis racing for that puck, trying to restore his team's momentum. And Loeffler will stop play.
Yeah, both teams are getting really close right now. You can kind of sense that the goalkeepers are working a little bit harder for some of these stops. CU is getting pretty close, but also Metro State. Very good period so far.
Still no score here in period number 2. Kieran Walker, Harrison Simeon, Jackie Rivera on camera. Nick Evans, our producer here on Scobo Sports. We appreciate you all tuning in this evening. MSU takes the puck after the draw. Puck loose behind the net. Ralstad fighting for it, as is Levkis. And Stelino back out on the ice. Bauk with Levkis in the corner. And played out for Johnson. Bauk played it back, intended for Stelino. Didn't connect. Ralstad looking for the puck, now taken by Levkis. Levkis in front of his own net. Sent across to Ralstad. Ralstad up the right side, looking, got Bauk and another turnover. Buffs bench not happy with that play.
Yeah, miscommunication. Book was not ready for that leave.
Hadrick took a shot. That shot from deep, wow. Very powerful shot, goes wide to the left. And now it's Cale Hall, the defenseman. Sent out to Rose. Goes back to Bauk, handled by Ralstad. Ralstad sent back to Levkis, excuse me, Archek.
This is becoming a war of attrition in a way. Game compressing. You have to imagine the first team that scores is going to have such more of a mental edge at this point. It's been so physical.
Now Krasowskis. Laid back out. Powers looking for Valco, can't connect. And now Will Hadrick with the puck. It's Marius Krasowskis trying to get a puck on that. But an icing will be the call against the Buffs. They'll come back to their own zone. And this DJ here tonight seems to be a huge Metro Boomin fan.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of Drake, a lot of that kind of corner of the rap world. But then that which made the national anthem so much more random.
Absolutely. It was a very interesting intermission, as we said earlier, folks. Smithberger lost the puck. Racing for it is Hadrick. Would have been offsides against the Roadrunners. Colorado will try and clear. Sent back across Krasowskis.
CU's done a really good job in some of these one-on-one scenarios, especially on defense. They've limited MSU in that way, but in terms of offensive generation, there's really been a kind of a lackadaisicalness to how they're passing and a lot of these slips as we see once again. They've done a decent job at times in staying with pucks and at least dumping things down, getting things in motion, but kind of just going through the motions at times.
Perry, cross ice, that shot deep from Zane Polachek. Sent back out. Puck loose in the corner. Smithberger sent out to the top for Polachek. Now Smithberger back at the point. Cross ice to Perry. Perry. Centering pass. Taken by Smithberger from deep, save again by Loeffler. Bit of a sloppy draw taken by Colorado. Now Sue looking for the puck. Fisher racing for it. He's got a chance up the right side. Centering pass. Ooh. Nearly a connection. Wow, what a setup by Fisher and Sue. Ralstad from deep takes a shot in traffic, saved by Loeffler. And cleared out by the Roadrunners. 4 minutes to go in the second.
That was a good offensive possession. I mean, Fisher doing a good job of getting that cross pass, and then that last attempt, just trying to get Sue on a deflection, just nearly. Looks like Powers might be heading to the back. That'd be a big loss tonight.
Oh, man. Yeah, Powered. Anytime you take off your helmet on the bench. Now Fisher, he's got the puck in the neutral zone. Here's Sue. Laid back out to Ralstad. Now Stolino. for the puck at the half wall. And looking for the puck again as Lefkis clears it out. Here's Fisher. Up the left side, looking for help. He doesn't have it. Loose in the corner. Down goes an MSU player. David Lefkis lost his stick. No call. Now sent back out. Lefkis looking. He's got help. DePonio to Lefkis. Shot wide right. What a setup. Lefkis looking for the puck. At the right side, cleared out by the Roadrunners. And Bryce Margolis in a bit of a scuffle with Chris Valco. A penalty coming here.
Yeah, that's certainly more of what you want to see. At least that was a clean execution. Lefkis getting it back, but unable to finish. As, you know, you get closer, you get it to your top goal scorer, but really tough. It looks like they might have called off that penalty. Yeah, nobody in the box.
The penalty was called off as the faceoff was taken by Bauk. That shot saved by Loeffler.
Yeah, Hadrick nearly got there. Try to poke something in a different direction. Loeffler's had a great game. As much as I've talked about Caleb Allen today, Loeffler hasn't really let anything fly. He's stood his ground.
Well taken. Handled into the corner. Hadrick looking for the puck, as is Bauk. Handled by the Roadrunners. Bounced off the boards. MSU going up with speed. Centering pass, diving for the puck was Allen. But Ethan Rose had no one to receive his pass. Rose, another shot saved by Allen. Kept into the top by MSU. Most energy we've seen so far. Dangerous situation for Allen as Chrysauskas takes a huge hit. Johnson looking for the puck. Inside 2 minutes to go in the second period. Offsides will be the call. And Ethan Rose not happy.
Yeah, a lot of dissatisfaction on both sides with the last several minutes. Teams really just fighting for this goal. It feels like the first team that scores is going to win, as it's really been tough. But maybe, maybe once you see a goal, that kind of opens things up. It's still pretty late in the game for that kind of thing to happen. But you still have a whole period. You still have this last 1 minute 50. So for Colorado, for Metro State, your focus is really just to dominate the compressed space that you have ahead of you.
Over 38 minutes have been played here this evening, and still no points on the board. Isaac Neffs is the puck. Out for Perry. Perry with a turnover. Another shot saved by Allen. Rebound attempt cleared out by the Buffs. Jenin clears it out. Icing is waved off as Smithberger gets there in time. Now Smithberger out to Jenin. Jenin from the point into traffic. Approaching the final minute to play. Now that shot nearly gloved by Caleb Allen. It's still loose in the corner.
Yeah, rare mistake by Allen moments ago. Not quite able to secure the glove save as it drifted in front of net for a moment. MSU getting pretty close these last few minutes.
Man, that shot was saved again by Allen.
Hard to imagine after these teams scored 10 combined goals last game, we'd be talking near the end of the second with no score.
It's hard to believe, especially for Colorado. I mean, they've been an offensive powerhouse this entire season. looking a lot like the Avs in a way at times. Now inside 30, and an icing is called against Colorado.
Yeah, and that's what makes it extra tough, is this is an offensive powerhouse, and they're not really playing their game. They're not playing the type of hockey that gives them wins. So it's not what you want out of this winter break, but now it's just finding a way to win.
Exactly. In their own defense, they have not seen action. Fisher looking. He's got speed. Great move, but a diving stop by Loeffler. Back out to Salino. The last chance for Colorado, 7 seconds to go. MSU trying to take a shot. That Rose's play was broken up by Ralstad. And that'll do it. After 40 minutes of play, still no score here in Boulder.
It's been very physical. It's been very tough for either side to really get consistent offense going. It's been pretty back and forth, I must say. And I would say, if we're talking, like we said, who won the period despite no goal scoring, I would give this one to Metro State, round 2, to the Roadrunners.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw all that pressure coming in. The Buffs really had that energy coming into the first period, especially on that one power play that they had. But MSU's energy, it's just there, and they have not slowed down one bit coming into that second.
Yeah, but even then, Colorado still has had their chances. They got very close with Fisher just now, making a really nice skate. They had a 3-on-1 with Lefkas trying to, score and put Colorado ahead. But give credit to Loeffler. He's done a very, very solid job. As much as I've talked about Allen, he's made some heck of a plays. And I think for CU, it's really just like I said earlier, it's finding a way. For Metro State, they're probably used to having no goals through 2 periods, but for CU, it's a bit of an out of your element factor to it, where you have to just find a goal in any way you can.
Absolutely. I mean, they're a little bit off their game, as you said, Harrison, but I mean, once they play their game, they can really start to find their rhythm and do what they do best. They just haven't been able to do that so far this evening. Still 20 minutes of play to come in about 15 after the second intermission. Don't go anywhere. You're watching ScoBuff Sports.
Merry ScoBuff Sports.
And Merry ScoBuff Sports to you.
It's our final show of the semester, so I gotta ask you, what did Adam say on the day before Christmas?
What?
It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, Hannah, you slay me. We've got a great show jam-packed with sports, so stick around.
We begin today with volleyball. The team is currently playing in round 2 of the NCAA tournament in Bloomington, Indiana. Before we look at today, let's look at how they got here. The Buffs fell to Cincinnati in 3 straight sets as the team struggled to stop the Bearcats' attack. Sydney Jordan and Maria Splaska led the way with 8 kills each. After Thanksgiving, Sarah Morton and Rye Finley were honored for senior day against number 24 BYU. Morton had 8 digs while Finley recorded 31 assists as the Buffs fell 3-1.
With those back-to-back losses, Colorado finished 22-8 overall and 12-6 in Big 12 play this season. While most of the roster looked the same from last year, the Buffs took a big step forward from their 13-win 2024 campaign. Colorado was projected to finish in the bottom half of the conference, but powered all the way back to 4th place. Their strong junior class of Kayla Payne, Sydney Jordan, Lily Dwinnell stood out, led by Barilovich, who finished 6th in the nation in total points.
The Colorado Buffaloes made the NCAA tournament and met their first opponent in round 1 against American. CU dominated in kills with a total of 44 and hit over .341. Sydney Jordan excelled in hitting with a total of 14 kills. Buffs look forward towards round 2 in Bloomington, Indiana, facing Indiana University.
The Colorado Buffaloes face off against Indiana University right now in Bloomington, Indiana for round 2. To gain over Indiana, the Buffs need to start hot offensively with hitters like Jordan and Barilovich gaining momentum. If the Buffs can defend Indiana's outside hitter, Candela Alonso Corcelis, then the Buffs can compete well with the Hoosiers.
Colorado football signed only 10 players to their 2026 recruiting class on early signing day Wednesday. Like last year, CU went heavy on the offensive line with 3-star prospects, Xavier Payne, Ben Gula, and Josiah Manu, all committing to the Buffs. Colorado also made a late swoop in for cornerback Braylon Edwards. He was previously committed to SMU. Despite this positive flip, the Buffs currently rank last in the Big 12 in recruiting ranks, according to 24/7 Sports.
Deion Sanders has found his play caller after an abysmal season offensively. The Buffs hired Sacramento State head coach Brennan Marion to lead the offense. He led the Hornets to a 7-5 record this season in his lone year in charge, and his team averaged 33 points per game, which was good for 3rd in the Big Sky Conference in scoring. Marion prioritizes the run game. His team averaged 262 yards per game last season, which was good for 3rd in all of the FCS. CU has lacked punch and pounding the rock during the Coach Prime era. Marion invented his own offense called the Go-Go, which prioritizes an up-tempo and creative approach. Both are things Buffs lacked under Pat Shurmur. For more, here's Harrison and Shane with this week's Folsom Feud, followed by Jake Shapiro and myself with Buff Banner.
The first domino has fallen. Colorado has their next offensive coordinator. Brennan Marion, who was the coach of Sacramento State last season, previously an offensive coordinator with UNLV, was hired by Coach Deion Sanders just yesterday. This is Folsom Feud alongside Shane Holcomb. I'm Harrison Simeon. And Shane, what was your first reaction to that hire?
Well, this is an exciting hire, and Buffaloes fans out there should be excited about this because this is a guy that brings a very fast-paced offense. The first thing that I will point out today, Harrison, is I think so many times last season, or this past season I guess I just finished, Colorado just could not sustain drives, and we're going to get into his offense a little bit later, but it starts with moving the chains, right? And this is a guy who's done that a lot at his past stops.
Yeah, he had the 2nd leading rushing offense in all of FCS, an offense that averaged 33 points per game, had one of the best yards per catch receivers in FCS. Sacramento State was electric, and it was under the Go-Go system, which is very interesting, very unique. Essentially everything Pat Shurmur wasn't. He was very conservative, by the books, pro style, but now Marion, very creative, innovative, and young at just 38 years old. We've talked about how Colorado will go into the future after Deion Sanders. This is a guy that could potentially be that guy to carry all Colorado's offense into the future. He has an identity. It can help in recruiting, and I think it'll be huge in terms of helping out Deion Sanders with this new look offense that has some talent there, but needs a lot around it.
That's right, Harrison. And you mentioned earlier, like last year, this team brought in a lot of, somewhat talented.
The first domino has fallen, but now Marion, very creative, innovative, and young at just 38 years old. We've talked about how Colorado will go into the future after Deion Sanders. This is a guy that could potentially be that guy to carry all Colorado's offense into the future. He has an identity. It can help in recruiting, and I think it'll be huge in terms of helping out Deion Sanders with this new look offense that has some talent there, but needs a lot around it.
That's right, Harrison. And you mentioned earlier, like last year, this team brought in a lot of, somewhat talented recruits in the offensive side. Joseph Williams is one I can think of, but it was kind of like a pluck and pull. It wasn't really, aligned with Pat Shermer's scheme. I think we most saw that most prominently with Caden Salter's lack of success in the passing game. Hopefully they can be a little bit more aligned in bringing in his scheme to the players they're bringing in via the portal.
Yeah, and it's a very unique. It has sets where there's two running backs on the same side of a quarterback. It'll be an adjustment for Julian Lewis, who's still very young, who's going to have a second OC in his second year and third OC.
Third, I mean, technically.
Well, third offense,
play
third
caller,
OC, even through a year and a couple months with the Buffaloes. So it'll be very interesting to see how he adjusts, but I think this is going to be great for guys like Micah Welch, for Dallin Hayden, running backs that are extremely talented, but haven't really had a chance to do more than just inside zone, maybe stuff here and there with pulling and pinning offensive linemen. But this is an extremely creative offense, one that can be extremely explosive in the Big 12.
Yeah, and a guy that I'm looking at, too, is what happens with Draylon Miller, right? We saw him a little bit in that backfield at the back end of this past season, and he's a guy that can be a very much of an explosive play threat. That's something also this offense really lacked last season was the explosive plays, especially in that rushing attack. Michael Welch was their lead-in rusher, and he didn't have 400 yards the whole season. So you want to talk about number 2 in the FCS with their rushing offense at Sacramento State. Marion hopefully will emphasize the run here of CU, and he's got playmakers to do it with.
Yeah, there's Marion Miller, who you just mentioned, at 800 yards last season, is on a trajectory, on an elevator to the NFL, in my opinion. If he comes back one more year, he could have over 1,000 yards. You were just talking before, over 1,500 you mentioned. That's an ambitious number. But with an offense this explosive, it's very balanced. So we may not see a ton of maybe all-around superstar numbers, but I think Julian Lewis can adjust to it, can air it out, but also make decisions on the fly and eventually install an extremely good offense for Colorado.
Yeah, well, it's all, rainbows and sunshine until we actually see this offense on the field, though. So I'll be interested to see. Obviously, there's a lot of time left. A lot of players that could come in before the opener at Georgia Tech next September, Harrison. But my only question is right here is this is the third play caller, right? And Deion Sanders, I guess fourth. And this is going to be his fourth year here. I'm a little concerned there's not that much stability here, but it's an exciting hire nonetheless.
Yeah, he has an impressive resume. It'll take some time to install, but I think this is about as good as Colorado could have done in terms of hiring their next offensive coordinator. This has been Folsom Feud alongside Shane Holcomb. I'm Harrison Simeon. Back to you guys at the desk.
Welcome back to Buff Banner. My name is Leo Rivera IV alongside Professor Shapiro. And today's topic of the day, Deion Sanders. Should he be on the hot seat at the start of the next season? I know you're feeling pretty fiery about this one.
Yeah, Deion is one of the highest paid coaches in America, Leo, and the results simply haven't been there. So just looking at money versus results, I think it's time for Deion Sanders to provide Colorado as a constant contender within the Big 12 and across the country. Last year was obviously a fantastic year, winning the Heisman and such, but is that because of his son and Travis Hunter, or is it because he is a good coach? And we don't know the answer.
I think there definitely needs to be more time to figure that one out, and that is the question that everyone is asking Jake Shapiro. Give him another season. I don't think he should be coming into this on the hot seat. No need to talk about firing him. Giving him one more year to figure out who's going to come in. Julian Lewis took that red shirt. He's your quarterback for the future. You just brought in a new OC. Let him feel it out. No hot seat for him.
Yeah, I think reality of the situation is when you're hiring a new athletic director, as the University of Colorado will be doing sometime in the next few months, that athletic director most likely is going to want his guy. And Deion Sanders is the furthest from your guy you could possibly have, right? He's his own entity. Literally, the athletic director right now, Rick George, is wearing Deion Sanders merch. So with a new athletic director in town, paying one of the highest paid coaches in America to be his football coach, whether you like it or not, in my opinion, he's probably going to be on the hot seat at the start of next year.
Well, that's fair, but I think only time's going to tell that. I think a little bit of that pressure is going to be taken off because how much is the university going to trust a new athletic director to come in and immediately start firing their coach that they have spent so much money on, that they spent the last 3 years entrusting with the face of their entire university? That's brought in not only the money-wise, but the enrollment of your students as well has increased, and those off the football field values as well.
The diversity and the inclusion that has been brought into these universities has no doubt been fantastic, and the money that has been brought into the community is no doubt just a total win. The question is this university serious about being a football program? Or, as Todd Solomon has said, one of the higher-ups with this university, Is it interested in just being a front porch to the rest of what this great university has to offer? That's my question with what this athletic director does, with what they do at football coach, is are they interested in being as great at football as they were in the 90s, or is it just this kind of side thing to get people in here?
Well, I think 9-4 says they want to win. I think there's that desire. Obviously, you look at this 3-9 season and you're left with a lot of question marks. All I can say is you have Julian Lewis. You have the most important piece of your offense moving forward, and I think that should be enough to keep some optimism.
The recruiting should be there. That's why Deion Sanders was brought here. The recruiting hasn't been there, and that's one of the things that really scares me moving forward is we are now multiple years into Deion Sanders, and the recruiting has still been a bugaboo. The staff seems to be improving with the new offensive coordinator hire, but I still have some serious questions about Deion Sanders, the coach, because we both know the timeout, in-game management stuff hasn't improved, and man, you got to make improvements. Whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a coach, you got to make improvements year over year.
Well, there's no doubt that the time management needs to be improved. That is one thing we can both agree on, but that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, Professor Shapiro, for making an appearance, and back to you guys at the desk.
Women's hoops went 2-1 in the North Shore Showcase over break, but returned from Hawaii with some jet lag. Montana State stunned Colorado on Sunday 71-70, winning on a last-second layup. It was their second straight loss. Colorado led by 9 at the half on red-hot shooting, but went cold in the fourth, giving up a 15-0 run. After losing to the Bobcats, the Buffaloes defeated the Charleston Cougars 66-47 on a quick turnaround on Tuesday. Kennedy Sanders and Anna El Dutat powered the herd with 14 points each, while Dutat added 7 boards and a block. The Buffs stretched the lead to 15 in the third and never looked back, showing the cohesion they lacked on Sunday.
J.R. Payne's crew will try to stay in the win column on Sunday at home against the Wyoming Cowgirls. In last season's opener, the Buffs went to Laramie and eked out a 52-47 victory. Wyoming has struggled on the road this season, going 0-3 entering Boulder. Coach Payne's squad must limit turnovers. Their rocky start to the season is amid an average of 16 turnovers. Tip-off is set for 1 from the CU Event Center on ESPN+.
After Wyoming women's hoops finishes out non-conference play and starts their Big 12 schedule, CU finishes its non-conference schedule with Miami of Ohio and the Northern Colorado Bears. They hit the road to face Arizona State for their first Big 12 game. On New Year's Eve, they face the Arizona Wildcats for the first game of a pair of home games. In the second game, they'll face Cincinnati.
Colorado basketball is 8-0 for the first time in 76 years. Since our last show before Thanksgiving, the Buffs won the Orchestra Holiday Classic in California, beating San Francisco and Washington both by double digits along the way. A few highlights from those wins included a 17-point outing by freshman guard Isaiah Johnson against San Francisco and a Bangor Dak double-double performance versus Washington in the tournament title game. After returning home to Boulder, the Buffs held off a feisty Cal Baptist team on Monday thanks to a strong second-half surge, outscoring the Lancers by 10.
The undefeated men's basketball team is headed to Fort Collins on Saturday for the Rocky Mountain tip-off. It's a battle with the Colorado State Rams, who has 2 losses this season. Those came in back-to-back games against Denver and Virginia Tech. The Buffs' start through 8 games is the best in 76 years. Tip-off is set for 3 p.m. Mountain Time at Moby Arena.
After the Rocky Mountain Showdown, Buffs basketball has a busy break with 6 games. They'll host the UTSA Roadrunners on December 13th and the CU Event Center. Then Portland State comes to town on December 17th. The Buffs will then travel to Phoenix to play Stanford in the
by Lefkis. Centering pass intended for DePonio. He can't connect. Now, back the other way is Hartek. Hadrick, rather. Hartek's on the D1 team. Now coming the other way is MSU. That's deflected by Allen up into the netting. So we already seeing a little bit of urgency. It's a little sloppy from both these teams so far, but we're already seeing the energy. It's here to start the
Yeah,
third.
you're going to see it pick up massively over these last 19 minutes. It's been a tough game, just about every aspect. And for Colorado, it's really find that final pass for Metro State. It's a little bit the same, but more of a preventative approach. Maybe play from bottom up.
Perry closing in on Loeffler can't connect. Can't get it past. Fisher sends it across to Polacek. Polacek bounced off the glass. Here's Sue in the corner. Back out to Perry at the point. Perry takes a shot into traffic. Now it's Perry. There's Fisher, rather, out to Perry. Fisher still with the puck in the corner and fighting forward. And coming away is Alexandrov. Not before it's broken up.
Yeah, a decisive factor of this game is Metro State's ability to defend the point. They've done such great jobs of, veering away shots that are looking for deflections, looking for traffic that can find the net. And now it's making CU think we have to get behind the defense to score.
Well, teams in the midst of a change. Back in on the ice is Isaac Neffs, who wins the draw, but it's taken quickly by the Roadrunners. Puck still in. Shot saved by Allen. Look loose behind the net, picking it up is Stelino. Neffs looking for the puck in the corner. Out to Jenin it comes. Now Stelino. Stelino, that pass is gloved down. And another shot on Allen, and an easy save.
CU has found its bright spots tonight, but you wouldn't really expect there to be a game, of this lopsided nature in terms of record that kind of transpires like this. I mean, you watch out.
That shot.
But
saved.
as I was saying, for CU, this is a high octane offense. And you say if it's 3-3, then it's like, okay, we're playing our game, but it's just, maybe there's some things to button up.
That shot save again by Caleb Allen.
But with a 0-0 game, it's what can we do better to really focus offensively.
Another shot in front again, and Allen there to stop it. Puck forced to the corner. Buffs feeling the pressure, trying to clear this zone. Roadrunners still in the zone, nearly cleared out. Now in the corner, Hadrick. Hadrick looking for the puck. Coming away with it is Bauk. Bauk up the left side. Big hit. Ethan Rose. Another shot save. Marius Krasauskas. Wow.
Arguably the best opportunity in at least half a period of action. That one really made Loeffler stretch a little.
Loeffler able to stop play. Levkis takes the draw. Out to Clark. Now into the corner for DePonio. Handled by Polacek. Moving around is Cale Hall for the Roadrunners. And at the top, kept in by Perry. And David Levkis at the half wall, able to handle it. Looking. There's Levkis at the top. And cleared out by the Roadrunners. Clark back to Stelino. D2 national ranks, CU ranks 41st in the nation behind MSU's 161st slot in the rankings. So, what a big difference. All right, out in front, diving glove save by Patrick Loeffler. Holy cow, a Herculean effort.
Got a rise out of you for the first time tonight. That was a heck of a grab. Just having to kind of fall on his stomach after the deflection. And I think right now it's kind of a mental battle for Colorado. You're having a fight between luck and skill. I mean, you're kind of heading into this game thinking, oh, we're going to get, our fair share. We're going to get ours in this game. But that's really, kind of just going in and assuming things. You have to play to your skill level that you've displayed all season. Otherwise, it's going to look like a team that's just fighting for a lucky shot.
Puck loose out in front of the net, cleared out. Fisher looking for an opportunity. Now Alexandrov. Stelino chasing the puck. Alexandrov will take it, sent around to Stelino. And cleared out. Excellent effort. Fisher closing it out in front. Shot deflected wide of the net by Loeffler. Sue out to Ralstad.
Ooh, tough sequence there. Fisher had it in a great spot, but the puck just kind of stood on its head for just a moment and spun down the side. Fisher not quite able to get a clean look.
Neff's looking for the puck at the half wall. He can't get it. The offside would have been called against the Buffs, but here come the Roadrunners. Off the other way with speed was Jackson Brandhorst. By Neffs. Kept in. Shot by Brandhorst. Out in front. They score! MSU breaks the scoring drought. My goodness, what a shot by Braxton Brandhorst. Jackson Brandhorst, oh my goodness. Able to sneak it right past Caleb Allen off that rebound attempt. Great communication. That's what we've been expecting to see here all night, and they finally capitalize.
Well, and there you go. MSU has been playing well above their pay grade coming into tonight. Last of the BMHL.
Lefkis looking for Perry, can't connect.
And Brandhorst with a heck of an effort off the rebound. And right now, that's all they need. They're playing an excellent game defensively. Maybe you score that goal in the first period, you're thinking, oh, we got to get a couple more, we got to feel comfortable. But now, you're playing a great defensive game as Colorado's called for offside. That you can imagine winning this game. The imagination can become reality with just one goal in this crucial third period. Wow.
SBS third period trivia. Our question is at 6'3", who is the tallest player on the men's D2 team who is active tonight? We'll have that answer for you later in the period.
Who do you think it is?
Man, I can't give the answer away, Harrison.
You know?
I mean, it's right here on our call sheets, man.
Oh,
But I mean,
okay.
there's some pretty big guys out there. If you ask me.
I haven't looked close enough. The height is a little bit small in our call sheet. But if I had to guess, Valco seems like a tall last name.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's always the defensemen. They're always up there. Always.
Smithberger. I mean, you kind of you don't picture any like 7-footers named Smithberger. I would say Valco. You think of maybe a taller last. Maybe the V in the last name just kind of makes you think that. I don't know. It's a weird association.
Alex Bauk. I mean, he's got quite some height to it, even though he's a forward. I mean, that's going to be an icing assessed against MSU. But it's kind of crazy to think that. I mean, I'm 6'4", folks, and I mean I'm taller than most of the players on both of our teams here. I'm 6'4".
There is a 6'4" player, but he's not part of the active roster tonight that we've seen. Trey Chance, defenseman.
Nice a score! My goodness! Rick Fisher, right from the point, sneaks it past Patrick Loeffler. Holy cow, what a play. This game is tied at 1.
Wow. Rick Fisher just out of nowhere, not really in an ideal position to shoot, goes for it anyway, and it's in the back of the net. What a response in a game like this where it felt like I said, the first team that score would be ahead the entire way with how CU had struggled all night. Rick Fisher playing a really solid game, barring that penalty early in the first period.
My goodness, that was one of the quickest turnarounds I'd ever seen after scoring a goal. Alexandrov, he's got wheels. Centering pass intended for Fisher, can't connect. Ralstad from deep, deflected off the leg of Preston Tafoya. Centering pass for Sue. Not enough power behind that shot.
What did I also say? I said maybe if that first goal comes, it'll open the game up for not just MSU, but for Colorado also. Just to see a puck hit the back of the net for the first time in a month. It's their first game in forever. That can be almost relieving for both sides. I mean, obviously Colorado maybe feeling more of the weight of the moment at seeing that. MSU maybe feeling the relief and the, maybe sinking into their heads of we can pull off an upset tonight. But still, I mean, what a way for Colorado to respond.
Another trip on MSU as Caleb Allen makes a stop.
Rick Fisher.
Rick Fisher with an incredible save. A reminder, folks, we asked you at 6'3", who is the tallest player on the men's D2 team? Who is active tonight? The answer is Marius Krasauskis. At 6'3", 180 pounds, he is the tallest member of the team who is active tonight. Just behind Trey Chance, the defenseman, who is not active here this evening. That puck is deflected high, and I believe it's out of the rink.
Yeah, that one, nice little souvenir.
Yeah, Krasauskis, one of the newcomers this year, and I mean, some of these guys have decent size to them. Interviewing some players, I mean, I get the sense. I mean, even on skates, they're about my height. So I mean, I don't know. I'm 6'4", so it's
on skates. What? You're what? 6'7"?
Maybe.
That was definitely intentional.
Smithberger now coming the other way. Now Perry. There's a shot smothered again, swallowed again by the pads of Allen. Now the draw will stay in Colorado's zone, and it looks like let's see who we get. It's Levkis attempting the draw against Bryce Margolis. Patrick in the corner. That's going to be smothered immediately by Allen.
Yeah, and something I must note today, a really good crowd from MSU tonight. Saturday, makes sense. that they're making the trip down from Denver. Not much of a drive, but credit to their fans. It's been a very nice crowd tonight, especially for D2. With the basketball game going on as well. They've come out to support their Buffs.
Yeah, the event
and
center
their
was
Roadrunners.
packed here this evening. Now Clark closing in, loses his footing, and he'll go down. A penalty coming. Looks like it's going to be on MSU.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that occurred. Looked like Clark just kind of slipped over himself, had to try to, contort the puck around.
Yeah, so Nate Frick is going to head to the box.
Yeah, Preston Tafoya.
Oh, yeah, Tafoya, rather. Yeah. Speaking of jerseys, Roadrunners going with a retro look here this evening.
Yeah, they've worn them before, and they're beautiful, quite honestly. They got a very, very 70s feel. Colorado with their normal whites. But I love the MSU unis.
I agree, yeah, that nice classic look. Can't go wrong.
I'm not really huge on their color scheme with the red and navy.
A shot out in front, save by Loeffler. Puck behind the net.
Yes,
taken
really
by
close.
Lefkis. Now Ralstad out in front into traffic, deflected wide right. Now to Ponio. Cross ice to Lefkis. Lefkis back to Ralstad. DePonio takes a shot, score! Corey DePonio! The lead is extended to 2. A power play goal for the Buffs. And they take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, credit to Ralstad making that extra pass. And that was way, way, way too much space for DePonio. All he had to do was rip it, make it accurate, and just like that, after no goals through the first 2 periods, Colorado has the lead.
Excellent communication. The Buffs have been trying to set up a play like that all night. And Lefkis out to DePonio. Off that one-timer. Holy cow, what a play. Just like that, the Buffs are on top. Now MSU trying to respond. A glove save by Allen.
Yeah, and we've talked about Lefkis all night, the 3rd leading scorer in the BMHC, but DePonio right there in 5th. He's had one hell of a season. Continues with a go-ahead goal tonight.
Alexandrov with the draw. He'll take it. There's his zone. Out to Sue. Fisher looking for it. Now Ralstad plays it into the corner. It'll by MSU. Fisher keeps it in. And it'll be smothered by Loeffler. Thank you all for tuning into Scobuff Sports, the first stream on this YouTube channel in 2026. Kieran Walker, Harrison Simeon, Jackie Rivera on camera, Nick Evans, our producer. Very thankful for you all tuning in here this evening.
Did you make any New Year's resolutions, Kieran?
I made a couple. I think my biggest is to eat more protein.
Whoa.
Big hit in the corner. Holy cow. My goodness. Yeah, it looks like Chris Valco a little shaken up after that one.
Yeah, it looked like he was had his hand on was 19 Preston Tafoya's stick and was kind of just yanked. Must have caught something to the face.
So yeah, my New Year's resolutions were to eat more protein and start running, get back into running. Haven't done
I have
that
the
since high
exact
school.
opposite approach. My New Year's resolution. No, I'm not gonna lie.
Come on, man.
I didn't make any actually.
Hey, that's all good.
Because I don't want to make a New Year's resolution and then just not stick to it. It's so hard.
Yeah. I mean, no, January 8th, this past Thursday, was National Quitters Day. And, I mean, one thing I will say, I mean, I've been going to the gym the past couple of years, especially since I started college. But I noticed in January that my gym is packed. I haven't noticed that yet this year. I really haven't.
Yeah. I would say one New Year's resolution that I've started is to take less hot showers. I took tons of hot shower. I'm a hot shower guy. But
Yes,
what
sir.
I do know is that it's really bad for your scalp and your hair. So what I do is I'm hot shower for the body, but I'm washing my hair. I'm going cold. So it helps my curls. I'm a curly hair dude. And, it helps with some of my scalp, some of that. So that's actually something I might stick to because I haven't found it too hard so far. I've never liked cold showers, but if I get warmed up first, then it's not quite as bad.
That is true. I should take that into account when I take my showers. So my scalp, it's been healthier the past couple of years. Closing in on the net was Josh Jenin, couldn't connect. But I should definitely try. I'll employ that method. See if it works, Harrison.
Yeah,
like
I would
that.
say I've definitely improved my hair routine this last year or so. I've definitely had better hair.
It looks good. It looks good. Now Neff's at the half wall. Takes a hit. He was able to dodge that hit. Holy cow. Now the play cleared out. And taken by MSU up the right side. Number 71 looking. Backhander. Shot save. Rebound is out in front and cleared out. Now for Margolis at the top. Left it back for number 11. That shot into traffic off the pad of Allen. Wow, what a stop again.
Yeah,
Philip
nearly
Allen.
disaster because it deflected off of Perry, who was just standing in front of net trying to block anything, and floated up in the air for what seemed like an eternity.
Now
But a good job by
Leftis
Allen.
Up the right side. He goes down. No call. That was a nice clean hit from the corner. And now MSU will come away with the puck.
What
He
in
lost his
Sam Hill?
stick. Interesting play. As Justin Sagal lost his stick. At cross ice.
Now the referee's running around with the stick.
Yeah, look at that linesman. He's holding the stick, man. You never know what you're going to see in the ACHA. It's a lot of fun. But now an icing is coming against the Buffs.
Probably some fatigue setting in. This has been a very intense, very physical game. A tough battle. I called it a war of attrition earlier. Things opening up here in the third period with some goals. But credit to the Buffs. I mean, after that goal by MSU, that upset possibility felt legit and real. But they've done well and are right back on top. And now things are getting, like I said, some fatigue setting in. So now it's on the Buffs to really lock in defensively.
Valco chasing down the puck here. Allen comes out of the net to play it. Speaking of fatigued, I for one am very fatigued today, folks. Battling a little bit of a cold, and it's really taken a toll on me the past couple days. But today, I just did not feel good. But the grind, I'm staying on that grind set, coming out here, airing these games for y'all. What we love most.
You've got 5 minutes left. If you're MSU, if you're the coach of MSU, you're thinking in the back of your head, when is the point you pull your keeper? It's that type of game where that strategy might work today.
It could. I mean, MSU's been applying that pressure this entire period. Their energy is there. So they want that man advantage. That's not out of the question. Valco kept it in. Hit it by Fisher. Valco looking for the puck. Now back into the corner. Valco at the top. That shot deflected. Valco. Nice pass. Picked up by Hadrick. Hadrick back behind to Alexandrov. Back to Hadrick. One-timer went wide.
Yeah, and if you're Colorado, you just got to think dagger right now. If you're in the attacking zone, you finish this game.
Now Fisher. Fisher looking for Alexandrov. Fisher couldn't keep the puck in the zone. Now handled by Perry. MSU in the midst of a change. Here comes Perry up the middle. Perry, play broken up. Couple fresh forwards on for the Buffs. Now 2 fresh lines on for both sides. Inside 4 to go. Buffs lead by 1. Jenin kips it in. Neffs. Yes, out to Perry. Perry from Polacek, one-timer. And that'll be stopped by Loeffler.
Colorado's forcing the issue right now. It's good to see that, considering how back and forth this game's been. They're putting the heat on MSU. Just trying to not just play keep away, but play keep away in a safe position where they can keep things safe. But now MSU the other way.
Either way handled by MSU. Handled by Brandhorst has the 1 goal tonight for the Roadrunners. Polacek. Cross ice to leave. That's Perry. But now an icing call against Colorado. 3:03 to go. 2-1 is your score, Colorado. This is about the time I would think that MSU, if they were to contemplate pulling Patrick Loeffler, this is about the time they would do that. Getting down to the wire. Last 3 minutes. Lefkis fighting for the puck as the MSU player is down in the corner. Kept in. That shot from deep, saved by Allen. And some extracurriculars between
Almost a
Perry.
little too tired to continue, though.
Yeah.
I think if this was in the first period, it might be having some more shoving.
Yeah, there's the extracurriculars are certainly diminishing as we get into the latter part of this game. Timeout called by Colorado.
Yeah, it's been a rough game. I'd say very physical, but Colorado's done a good job of staying with it. Obviously, the big response after giving up the goal, then being like, oh, we got to lock in, we got to be on point these next few minutes, and they were. Fisher finding the equalizer, and then DePonio putting CU ahead. And I think for Metro State, it's you think about that empty net, but you also think about the amount of shots we can just put on the net right now. Just leveling Allen with as many shots as they possibly can.
Yeah, shots on net so far tonight, 32-31 in favor of Colorado. So it's been pretty closely contested. But, I mean, Allen's been getting peppered, especially the last couple minutes here on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how this ends, I think for Metro State, you come away with this game saying we played 2 really sound defensive periods, and then maybe, this is a high-powered offense. They're going to find a way. I'd still say you hold your heads high no matter how this one ends if you're MSU.
The huddles have been broken. So now Lefkis will come in for the draw. He's facing Zach Jensen, excuse me. Now sent a pass off to Clark. Clark with speed. Corey DePonio lost his footing. He goes sliding into the boards. That was a tough hit. DePonio trying to connect off the rebound out in front. Loeffler looking for the puck, and he's able to smother it. Inside 2.5 to go.
That was a interesting opportunity. Lefkis might have even nearly jarred it loose from Loeffler as he tried to freeze it.
Line change coming.
Should have a fun finish in store.
Hadrick able to keep it in at the point. And now Ralstad wrapping around. Back to Lefkis. He's looking for the puck And the other way is MSU. There's Jensen. Jensen out to Rose. Rose in the corner. It's like Brandhurst looking for the puck. Levkis comes away with it. Cross ice to Hadrick. Hadrick, the defenseman. Big hit in front of the scorer's table. That shot went wide. And back out is Polacek. Ooh. Smithberger played back into the corner, taken by Neffs. Neffs with some pressure.
Neffs had a great chance to end that game with a cross-ice pass.
Some news in the NFL. Green Bay Packers are leading the Chicago Bears 27-24 with 2:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. And a missed 44-yard field goal from McManus. Very close game. I mean, Packers started to run away with it throughout the third quarter.
Yeah, they were up 21-3.
Yep.
But now if you're MSU, you have to just focus on possession. You need that extra man at this point. I think they might be. They're thinking about it. They're
Now,
certainly thinking about it.
The final minute approaching. Allen came out of the net to play it. He's looking. Buffs trying to clear their zone. Pressure Loeffler. Loeffler's going to head to the bench, and here comes that sixth skater. Not before. Coming the other way is Colorado. Alexandrov takes a shot towards the net and broke it up. What an effort by Jackson Brandhorst. Net is still empty. MSU coming the other way. And by Matthew Clift. Out to Perry. Perry bounced off the glass. Heading towards the net. And it's in! Colorado takes a 3-1 lead of a huge shot by Dominic Alexandrov. Excuse me, Perry, rather. Gage Perry, the defenseman, able to fire that one from deep. Right into the empty net.
One of the best bank shots you will ever see. Just had to deflect it off the wall. There wasn't really anything straight away. And just found the right angle. A little bit of luck there. We talked about the luck versus skill discussion, and a little luck helping Colorado seal the deal here in Boulder.
Krasauskas looking for the puck. Out at the half wall. Final 20 seconds of play. Down goes Bryce Margolis. Back into the net is Loeffler. What a win for Colorado after an uneventful first 40 minutes of play. This third period, they came out and made a statement. The final 5 seconds to play here. And Colorado will wind down the clock after taking a 3-1 victory over their in-state rival MSU here in Boulder. And some extracurriculars taking place in the corner. Alex Bauk in the mix, as is Aiden Johnson. And that's broken up quickly. Yeah, both teams, they're gassed at this point. They're not going to throw too many punches. But what a win for Colorado.
Yeah, it was one heck of a period. This is probably the type of win you might want if you're Colorado coming out of the break. The first two periods, plenty. You need to do better. You discuss, what can we make, what adjustments can we make to come out stronger? And after that first period went by the wayside, the adjustment's still not working. So, now you maybe need some time to evaluate going forward. But then you come out in the third period, you allow MSU to score, and then it's really the red lights flashing in your head of we need to get this together or we might lose this game to the last place team in your division. But good on CU to come out, score 2 goals in somewhat quick succession, and then finding that clincher off the bank shot on the empty net. Solid effort from CU all around. I'll give credit to MSU as well. They came to play. They held their ground for 40 minutes plus, and still Colorado able to come away with the dub.
Yep, and Roadrunners were the first to score here on the night, followed closely by Colorado, who ran away with it towards the end of this third period. But what a third period indeed. Those first two periods, we saw so many chances from both sides. But the third period, they just let it all out. And the handshake has concluded here at center ice.
Yeah, it was about chipping away tonight. I think Colorado, you still see some bright spots in those first two periods. Even when you weren't scoring, you were finding avenues. You were finding opportunities that you just had to finish. You just had to make do of. So in that period, you finally saw them come to fruition. Better late than never, as one would say. And this is a good win to start the spring semester for the Buffs.
First game of 2026 here at the CU Rec Center Ice Rink. Starts off good vibes with a dub, courtesy of CU. That's going to do it for us here on Scope of Sports. Jackie Rivera on camera this evening, doing an incredible job. Nick Evans, our producer, alongside Harrison Simeon. I'm Kieran Walker, saying you heard it here first, and so long from Boulder.
Despite a disappointing end to an historic season, CU soccer has various end-of-season honors to celebrate. Striker Hope Leba and goalkeeper Jordan Niders are the first Buffs in program history to earn first-team All-American honors. Leba broke the record for most goals in a single season with a Buff, scoring 22. The forward was also named Big 12 Striker of the Year and was constantly terrorizing backlines all season. During the year, Nidus broke the record for most shutouts in a career and also earned Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Year honors for the third time. Defender Faith Leba earned third-team All-American honors thanks to her amazing defensive play throughout the season.
Then in Manhattan, Coach Prime and the Buffaloes closed out their season in a snow-dusted showdown against the Kansas State Wildcats. The Buffs came out with a fight, reaching Wildcat territory on their first 5 drives. However, they only cashed in 1, including a blocked field goal and 2 turnovers on downs, which kept CU from taking control early. Caden Salter was his usual mix of up and downs in his final game as a Buff. The fifth-year player completed 56% of his passes and threw a head-scratching interception. K-State took control behind the sophomore back Joe Jackson, who gashed CU for 142 yards and all 3 Wildcat touchdowns. CU cut it to 17-14 late, but a final Jackson score sealed it.
The third installment of the Coach Prime era came to a disappointing finish after Colorado ended the season 3-9. This was the worst season in the Coach Prime era, and it finished off with 2 losses to Arizona State and Kansas State. Colorado's last home win of the season came before the first bye against Iowa State, and from that point on, it was all losses. Although the season was a disaster, the hiring of offensive coordinator Brendan Marion brings optimism for the future and hopefully some more recruits to come with it.
6 Buffs were named to the Big 12 honors. Amarian Miller's over 800 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns was good enough to make the Big 12 second team. Fellow sophomore offensive tackle Jordan Seaton was also named to the Big 12 second team. Freshman London Merritt was named to the Big 12 honorable mention, recording 25 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. The defensive back pairing of Tawfiq Byard and Preston Hodge got Big 12 honorable mention as well. Byard led the Big 12 in solo tackles with 58 stops. Hodge led the Big 12 in pass breakups with 13. Punter Damon Greaves led the Big 12 in punts with 62 this season, which was good enough for the Buffs' 4th honorable mention.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to